Well, welcome back, my friends, all to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors, a Dbad Arizona Bowie made by Croco Knives, C-R-O-C-O Knives. Now listen to me. Is this America's first combat utility knife? You bet your ass it is, but listen real quick. Let me throw a few things out there. This is not a history lesson on the Bowie. I am very, very well versed in the origins, the sandbar fight. I've been reading extensively, and at some point I will do a video on the history of the Bowie knife. Now, it is uniquely American, but America did not invent it. Listen, this is an old blade style, right? Jim Bowie was a badass human being. Now, regardless of what you think of him as a person, the dude was shot 3 or 4 times, was just tough as nails. If you've never watched or looked at or read anything on the sandbar fight, it will completely change your view of Bowie, okay? Now again, and I'm saying this because of the way I'm going to cover this knife. This isn't a history lesson, it's a knife review. So let's jump into it. Croco Knives has done several designs for Donnie. Now, Donnie is my favorite designer. I say that every time we do one of his knives. But listen, this knife is designed for fighting. It's an ode to where he lives. It's the Arizona Bowie. It has a coffin handle with micarta handle scales. It's in D2 steel. It has some nice fullers on it. It has really nice hammering on the back. It's got a really nice pattern that runs from the end of the clip all the way around the handle. I love that. I love the size of the guard. Let's watch. Beep, beep. Look at those fast hands. Those are the first 2 4 bottles I cut. I do that for a couple of reasons. One, it's not to wow you. It's to get a feel for the knife. Donnie does a phenomenal job balancing out his designs. If he designs the knife, that's the way he's meant for it to be. Now, you can get them bigger or whatever, but when you alter the design, you alter the balance point. That's why I like all his original works. But a designer is only as good as the guy he has making it. Croco Knives has done a phenomenal job. Now, this knife is a fighting knife. This knife is a knife meant for knife fighting. That's what it's for. Donnie's got such a vast portfolio at this point. He can basically hone in and do different things. The deal is this. Jim Bowie did not design the Bowie knife. Neither did his brother Resin. It was a design that was already out there. Now, Bowie did tweak it, and I dare say by the time he got to the Alamo, it had started taking on a totally different shape and an aura. In fact, it's been reported that he gave his original knife that Resin gave him, that he actually got in the sandbar fight with, to Edwin Forrest. I believe Bark River did a version of theirs. I'm saying all that to say this. When I say it's uniquely American, the Bowie knife, every knife maker alive has some version, every American knife maker has some version of a Bowie knife. They just do. Every designer, if they don't have one made, they have one drawn up. Why? Because it's in our lore, it's in our history. What Donnie's done with this knife is a couple of things. One is, let's talk about the guard, okay? He didn't go with a huge S guard here. He went with a smaller guard. And I'm going to give you all the specs in just a minute. It is D2 steel. Now let's just take a look. I'm going to shut up. Look at that. Look at that work right there. That's just a good looking knife, boys and girls. And the pommel is made to put your hand on so you can do some stabbing. Hell of a slicer. I tell you what. Let's jump into the overall specs, and I'll get to my point in a minute. So we have an overall length of 15 inches and 3/4. That's from tip to pommel. We have a blade length of 9 5/8 with around 9 1/8 cutting edge. The clip on this thing is an extended clip. The clip is actually 6 inches. That is huge. All right, that gives you that penetration. It has 2 really well done fullers. At its widest point, the blade is 2 inches wide, so you'll get some good slicing on that. The handle scales themselves are 6 inches long, and you have an inner grip. You have an inner grip of 5 inches, and you can use up to 5 1/4. There's no man on this planet whose hand would be too big for this knife. I'm just telling you. Donnie has huge hands. He has double X hands all day long. He's a big dude, and I'm sure he made this for his hand, which benefits all of us. The handle thickness is 3/4 inches. Now, the handle width, I'm going to give you 3 measurements. At the top is 1 1/4 inches. At the middle is 1 inch. At the pommel, 1 1/4 inches. The coffin handle style I've never liked. I love this one because it's done right. A lot of people screw up that coffin handle style. They really do. This one, Croco Knives executed, I think, perfectly. This is a stabber. What I wanted to do in this video too, I opened, stabbing the backing, the carpet padding. Now I use that stuff I'll cut up into tiny pieces, and we use that between rails, so I'm not wasting it, I'm not ruining. That shit's expensive. The reason I like doing that carpet padding is this. When you stab in, how easy is it to pull out? Okay, so if you're stabbing clothes or something like that, or bears or whatever the hell you're going to stab, can you withdraw the knife easily? Now, if you've ever been stuck, or you ever had the misfortune of sticking someone, you know that the muscle can wrap up. But I like doing that foam so that it doesn't lock up. I can remove the knife easily, and that's important. And let me say this. With the current situation going on in Texas, which is tragic on every level, and I will address that. Typically, I stay away from that kind of stuff, but having a knife channel, I feel like I need to address it because this is my passion, this is my heart. I want to be respectful and I want to be sensitive, but at the same time, I want to use common sense. And when we're talking about a combat knife, a fighting knife, there's certain things we're going to have to discuss and factor in. We just have to. No disrespect to anyone, I will address that in a future video. Back to the knife. The balance on this thing is so that you can, it's more weighted towards the handle, right? So slashes, stabs you can do. And right here, I'm still cleaning stuff up. I like using some of that white pine. I'm just going to be real with you. Pine burns hot and it burns fast, and I have it in abundance. Some of this stuff is pine, and we swap over to red oak to do a little bit of batoning. This is not a batoning knife. This would be a knife, oh my God, it's the only knife you got. Well, then you have prepared insanely poorly, okay? If you're going to carry this knife, and I would carry it all day long, it's got a beautiful, beautiful leather sheath, insanely well done. I love the sheath. So if I was going to carry this, I would make sure that I paired it with maybe a tomahawk or a hatchet or something like that, right? I'm going to use my slicey cutting tool for processing food. If you need to cut something, you want your blade intact. You don't want to beat through black locust with it. We've got to get away from the dumb shit, guys. We've got to. That's why I'm comfortable here. This is pine. The biggest thing with pine is this. You can go through some knots. And I've said this a million times, I'll say it a million more. If a knife breaks on my channel, that is a problem because of the mediums I use. I am not trying to impress you with the toughness of the knife. I'm trying to show you the knife work. These knives can be super fun to play with, and they are. I love this damn thing. I love this thing. This would probably make a good hog hunting knife as well. But at the same time, that means it's not super easy to show. Right? If it was, everybody would do it insanely well, and they don't. And I'm doing the best I can with showing you. That's why we stab a tire. That's why we stab the carpet padding. That's why we did the slashing of the bottles. Now, making a fire. I'm doing this purposely with just about every knife. I think fire making with a ferro rod and fat wood, because that's what I have here. You have to use what is applicable to your region, right? So that's what I use. But making a fire, I think, is essential. This knife threw sparks unbelievably well. So we got a fire going right there. And using the fat wood that I use, it gets hot and it gets sticky. Sometimes I nail it on the first time, sometimes the second, and sometimes it takes a few. I wanted to show you every single one here. And the biggest thing here, you see me wiping it off, it came right back beautifully. And it's just, this is a fun knife to fidget with. Now, you don't want to walk around in public fidgeting with it, but it is fun to fidget with. It's well done. It's D2 steel. It has a nice toothy edge. Now, let's talk about that for a minute. For me, a toothy edge is perfect. For you, for a fighting knife, you might want to go to a mirror polish, but I love the edge. Listen, guys, there was a time in this country where 22 vets today took their own lives. Stats are everywhere. That's why here on this channel, we focus on the number 0. Vets, you are welcome here. Anything over 0 is unacceptable. Guys, I back the blue. Tell y'all that every time. Not easy, but I do it. I believe they should be held accountable like we are. Finally, if you are an addict, and I am, never quit quitting. The Arizona Dbad Fighting Bowie. It's badass, son. Croco, Dbad, y'all killed it. I'm Scab. You're